we spent the past couple of years in a crazy hot market. Louisville home sales decline as demand outpaces supply. Effective communication is at the core of any situation. If you master these two ideas, you'll have a chance of being successful at residential real estate marketing. I think you need to be looking for investment opportunities that move the needle. The market will never crash if demand exceeds supply. This is what I've been telling you all along.
This is the Jay Pitts Show.
And we're back, folks. Welcome back to the Jay Pitts Show. I'm your host, Jay Pitts, here with co-host Ryan Harris.
I'm getting old, man.
Why?
I woke up this morning at like 5 a.m.
Oh.
My son's been sleeping through the night, and I'll take 5 a.m. I'm usually up at 5 a.m. anyways. But so he decided to get up, so I'm up with him. And I was like just leaning over and just like, I don't know if I pulled something in my chest. Like, so my right side of my chest just hurts to
right
breathe.
Side.
Like,
Oh.
just getting old. Playing golf, I'm more sore after now.
Ugh.
And
You know what that means? You're about to start losing yards on your drive.
no.
I know you said you've increased every year since college.
I have to start doing some kind of yoga, I think.
Oh, my God.
Maybe hot works a couple times a week or something like that.
So Hot Works
Get the
got
infrared
a
benefit out of it.
good friend just opened a Hot Works over in Stony Brook. So I got the hookup.
Yeah.
But that's probably not
It's
where
a
you want
little far for me.
Probably not where you want to go. Where's the closest one to you?
St. Matthews.
I
There's
just now
one
realized
right
there's-
by Crumble Cookie.
Oh, great. So just go do your workout and then grab a cookie. I used to do that. I remember right after college is I would go work out on Saturday mornings. Because, I've always been an early riser. Speaking of, I woke up at 3:30 this morning. Do not recommend, 1 out of 10. But I did because if you think you're old, then I've got some stories for you. But I woke up at 3:30 this morning, and I was always an early riser. So I used to go to the gym on Saturday mornings, one of my favorite things to do. And then I would grab lunch afterwards, and I'd bring it home, and Jen would be like, "You're just replacing all the calories you just burned." And I'm like, "You don't understand. To make this large body do things, you need fuel." So
I would say one of the worst things I probably used to say was I work out so I could eat bad. I've changed that. I still don't eat great. I'd say I eat healthy. I'm about 70-30. 70-30. I need to get to 80-20. I feel like everybody, that's the golden rule.
I kind of eat what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, still, to this moment, I eat what I want. I don't want really bad stuff most of the time.
I skip breakfast most days.
I skip breakfast most days. I work out fasted, which I really enjoy. We just broke a meeting, and there was a scone in there, and I crushed it because, I'm literally starving. It depends on the workout. I had a really, really good workout today. But, that I can always tell when I have a really good, productive workout, I'm starving. And, it's about 11:30, so it's lunchtime anyway. And I haven't had a meal yet. So, yeah, the eating thing I'm not the best at.
What do you consider lunchtime?
Lunchtime I think traditionally is noon, but, I eat quite late most times.
Isn't it kind of crazy in school? Some people would eat their lunch at 10:40.
It's wild.
10:30.
My kids tell me that. My daughter goes to lunch at 11:15 in second grade, and I thought, that's late.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, that late? My son last year in fifth grade, for whatever reason, would eat lunch at 11:30, and now he's at 12:15. And I'm like, that's normal. 12:15 is normal. I don't eat breakfast, and a lot of times I don't eat lunch till 2 o'clock. Or even later sometimes.
Yeah, and by that point, you were just so hungry.
Oh, I'm so hungry. I've gone past that. The hunger goes away for me, and I think I've even normalized the hunger pain or discomfort that comes with it.
I'm sure a lot of realtors listening to this and just agents out there. Sometimes I'll plan. The only time I have breakfast is if I know I have a slam-packed day and my lunch is busy and I know I'm not going to get a chance to eat lunch. Mm-hmm. Then I'll eat breakfast and then I'll eat dinner later.
Yeah.
And I know there's agents out there that do that. They probably don't eat breakfast most of the time, but when they know they're not getting their lunch, you got to eat breakfast.
I know. And I've sacrificed, the time I have to spend and be intentional on breakfast. I've traded that for workout. So, I take my kids. I have to get them up at 6:45.
That's a good calorie difference there. You're not
It
just
is.
taking away a meal you're working out too and burning
It
calories.
absolutely is. And I do like working out fasted. I never enjoyed like a lot of heavy physical activity on a full stomach. The exception was when I trained for the marathon. You're at such a caloric deficit that because you burn so much, you just have to get your calories.
Yep.
And I could go out and start a 5-mile run with a full stomach and be fine.
Yep.
But, through college sports, through high school sports, now as an adult, I don't want to work out. I'm sluggish. I don't want to if I have a full stomach. So
Yeah. Okay, cool, man. Let's get into it. So I think we should start with the recap. You had Resource Live yesterday.
Yes, an amazing event.
I thought it was awesome. I texted you last night.
Yeah,
I
I
went
appreciate
really
that.
well. So everybody that put it on, I think, did a great job. I think the schedule was really great. Lunch was good too, which you usually don't get at those things.
Those box lunches were good. I mean, so I hear. I had a little taste of it later.
It's hard to eat. I don't like to eat if I'm speaking.
I did not eat yesterday. Yeah. I didn't eat until we left, and but I got a lot of compliments on the food, and I agree. I had a taste of it afterwards.
And now all the agents are eating the leftovers.
And now they're eating the leftovers in there. I told Marcy, I said, box it up, bring it back. The bros will eat lunch for the next couple of days. Yeah. If you don't know, if you're not privy to the inner workings of this office, the bros are like, 7 or 8 probably rotating young men on my team that always work in the same spot of the office. You're almost guaranteed, at least before about 2:00, to see at least 2 of them sitting at that table. But yeah, we've affectionately nicknamed them the bros.
Yeah.
But again, I thought the event went well. Speakers went well. Got a lot of texts, a lot of reach outs from people outside the company that were in attendance. Obviously, we appreciate them for being our first year guinea pigs, but it didn't feel like a new event. It felt like something that we had done before.
It was good, man. I actually had a couple questions for you about it. Just so those listening, like Jay is going to do this again. He's already said that. So next year, if you didn't get to come or didn't know if it would be good, it was amazing. So next year you're going to want to come. It's probably going to be bigger.
Yeah, I would agree.
But for first try, it was awesome. So a couple questions I have. First, what do you think was the best part of the event yesterday?
Well, I said in our meeting just a minute ago, the most impactful thing spoken all day was in the panel. Tracy French, one of our agents and team leaders here, said that the NAR changes are a blessing in disguise, essentially because it encourages agents to speak again, right? To not hide behind text message and showing service apps and, things like that. It was nice, and this is underscored by the fact that it was nice to see so many faces of not agents of our company. I get to see those people all the time. Maybe not as much as I would like for some, but I do get to see those people. It was great to see people's faces in person that I speak to all the time, that I see their names even more than that we text and send offers back PDF through dot loop and negotiate an electronic signature. And you never see these people. You never see them. You rarely speak to them. And the NAR settlement and the communication that is surrounding cooperating agent compensation is fostering conversations.
Yep.
And so I think that was the most impactful thing said. I think Jason Pantana certainly was a hit. He did an AI demonstration where he had built, essentially a chat bot using ChatGPT and a voice integration where you can actually role play with the chat bot. You speak to the computer and it gives you objections.
I'll say he put it on hard mode. I don't think it was that hard.
Well, I don't know that he actually did.
Yeah.
It was glitching at first.
It was good, though.
It was glitching at first, and then the funny part, I think the most comic relief of the day when he was just like, all right, let's just get started, forget it. And then it just started working. And so we don't really know. I don't know for certain if that was actually hard mode. That might have been easy.
Yeah.
But it was easy. But it was just cool to see one of our agents sitting up there talking to a machine about them signing as a buyer a contract agreement, like an agreement to represent them, a compensation agreement. It was just wild. And that was a hit for sure.
You said something so great in our meeting just a little bit ago, and when you were talking about what Tracy French said, it reminded me of it. You said text is better for documentation, calling is better for communication.
That's correct.
I mean, that's so powerful and so true.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. An agent in our office, Ryan Brown, said, well, wouldn't you want to put that in writing so that you could enforce it? And that's just it. Yes, if it's in writing, it's better for documentation. If it's face-to-face or over the telephone, it's better for communication. What do you want? It doesn't matter. You don't get to enforce a contract when there is no contract. You have to get a contract done, and the best way to do that is to talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, been a big proponent of that forever, and you might say that's an old head take, Ryan, but I think conversing is severely underrated in our industry.
No, absolutely
not an old head take.
No,
we're not going to talk about my last old head take. We're going to debate that on the show today.
What was it?
You don't remember what you told me? You told me I had an old head take because I said Jordan was better than LeBron.
Yeah.
You said LeBron James is the GOAT. And I said, no, absolutely not.
Nope. Our listeners probably don't want to hear that debate.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, we'll get to it one day.
So a couple other I thought the guest speakers were great. So when Debbie and Jason Pantana, you hit on Jason already.
Yeah.
Heard Debbie talk a few times, Holloway. Yeah. She's always
cool.
Phenomenal to listen to. And she is. She is just cool. You can tell she's cool.
Yeah.
Like
funny.
Yeah,
she made a crack about agents' dress code and just only she can.
Yeah.
It's funny, and I said this yesterday. Debbie asked me what I wanted her to cover, and I said charisma, communication, and authenticity because that's what she is. Like that. And I said this also about Debbie, and the next time you hear her speak, if you think of this when she starts, it'll hit home even more. Watch how she speaks, because Debbie most of the time doesn't say anything that is like over the top or new. I don't want to say new. I don't want to make it sound like it's not intelligent. It's absolutely intelligent. It's not groundbreaking. These are simple concepts, but the way she conveys them is so powerful, and it just shows you like the power of a good speaker. Like her emotion, her body language, her tone, her pace. Her pace is probably. Jason came up to me today or yesterday after Debbie spoke. He said Debbie was better today than I've ever seen her. And the funny thing is she didn't think it was good.
Really?
And yeah, she said it was too short. I got moved off topic a couple. I said, no, Debbie, it was fine. It was great. It was unbelievable. And 5 seconds later, Jason said, that's the best I've ever seen her. I mean, it's a testament to like how speech can move you, right? Which is what we do. It's what we do. Like make your words matter more. Like that's what sets you apart as an agent.
Yeah, and you were saying she didn't say anything groundbreaking. Well, I think it's very important just to hear the things you already know again.
Yeah.
I know I need to hear things over and over again, even if I know it, because I need things solidified. And if you stop hearing those things, you're going to forget them. Or
simple concepts are often very difficult to execute, right? So simple doesn't mean easy.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do a golf reference here, but I've been hearing a lot of these best golfers in the world. They're not working on new things every day or going to tournament. When they get to the range the next week, they're making sure is their grip good, is their alignment good, and is the ball placement right? Like the most basic fundamentals of golf.
Athlete.
And that's what they're making sure is good every week when they get to another tournament.
Love it.
It's the same thing as agents. Just make sure you're doing the things you should be doing, the easy things right every time. Like
money. Love it. Yeah, it was a great event, man. I'm definitely doing it again. More, bigger, better is the idea. But the thing that I think I love the most about the event, and so yeah, we can do it bigger. Yeah, we can do more. I can bring in even higher profile speakers if that's what we choose to do. The cool thing about yesterday was while the speakers themselves were extremely notable, they're not household names, right? One is a local interest. The other is a fairly prominent, industry person. But it's not. They're not the most popular name in real estate, And the thing I loved yesterday was the people that showed up were people that trusted me to deliver someone that was going to create value for them. And they showed up for that reason, because, you bring in the biggest name in real estate, people show up for that and not necessarily for the right reasons. But the people that were there yesterday had some trust, and I think we delivered.
Absolutely.
And so I'm kind of struggling. Like, do I really leverage all of my contacts to bring in a really, really big name, just to show that we can make it bigger, or do I kind of keep it in the same vein as this year? Because this year was pretty awesome.
It was awesome. And, the agent panel agent panel was phenomenal too. I think you got to hear from a lot of different people and their success. And what I really got out of that was, and once again, I already knew this, but it just feels good hearing it again. There's so many paths to success as a real estate agent. There's not one way to do it. If you're an agent out there listening to this, struggling or trying to find your way, there's not any magic sauce.
No.
There's not one way to do it. There's 100 ways to do it, and you just have to find the way that works for you.
You know what my most impactful takeaway from the panel was? The person I probably know the least on the panel was Laura Aubrey at Kentucky Select. And I learned throughout this process that she was a Division I coach. She was rowing coach, first assistant rowing coach, and then ultimately head coach of the University of Louisville rowing team. I know nothing about rowing. Okay. But in the vein of simple concepts not being easy, she said, and she probably spoke the least too of the panel. But everything she said was in alignment with the kind of persona that she had created. Like, she was an ex-athlete. She was a coach at a high level, Division I level, on an Olympic sport, no less. So not extremely well-funded, probably good at U of L, but not extremely well-funded sport, passion, dedication, discipline. And then so you make some of those assumptions about her, right? And then she spoke with such confidence and conviction and directness. And then everything about her business followed those same concepts. I don't know if you noticed that, but it was just I get up at this time, I do this. This is the way we do this. Then we do that. Then we do this. We execute this. We work on that. We have goals that we set, and we do this. It was just, I don't know, it was refreshing to me to have those maybe even stereotypes, but positive ones reinforced.
Well, and I don't know if you planned this, but everybody up there got into real estate in a different way. You had a failed musician, somebody who was a divorce lawyer who couldn't stand doing it anymore, somebody who was a D1 coach, somebody who lost their job.
Yeah.
All five came from a different background and how they got into real estate.
Absolutely wild. I did not intend for that. The three that I know that are agents of our companies, I could tell you their origin story. I didn't know the other two. I knew Laura Rice was an attorney. I didn't know that it was divorce law. I introduced her as a family attorney, because that's what her bio said. And I didn't realize it was, even commented, I was like, well, family law sounds a lot better than divorce lawyer. And she, we all had a nice little laugh on that. But, I didn't get much of a chance, but since I made a comment about Laura Aubrey, I will say Laura Rice, I could absolutely see how her prior career gave her the skills necessary to excel in real estate, because the mediation involved with divorce law and the problem solving and the communication skills required, there's no surprise that she's as good as she is.
Yeah. So once again, really good. And actually, the next question I have for you is as a result of Resource Live yesterday. So after listening to Jason Pantana went into a deep dive on AI and ChatGPT and what it can do for your business. So after hearing him talk, do you have any ideas in your head yet of how you're going to implement AI into your business?
Plenty. The easiest, I pulled Hannah aside yesterday while she was filming, and I said, we do a ton of reaction videos, industry articles, other videos. I'm going to use ChatGPT to source the articles and the content that we need to react to that is relevant to industry happenings. That's going to be first and foremost. I was really blown away at the agent analysis spreadsheet that he did, where you can pull MLS data about agents.
The running data the entire MLS data through
Yeah,
ChatGPT was pretty incredible.
I can't even imagine the CSV file that is the entire MLS. But yeah, I mean stuff like that. I think
Laptop storage is going to be gone.
I think what your everyday agent could really implement, and you know, I could tell in watching him, his prompts that he feeds into the AI are so insane. I mean, it's the
Kevin
product.
Lewis had something funny. He was like, if I was smart enough to come up with that prompt, I wouldn't be asking ChatGPT.
I said, look, bro, copy and paste is what I told him. Like, that's the thing.
I took pictures of the slides.
I mean, we're going to get the slides, and I'll distribute those. So you'll be able to copy and paste. But I mean, that's hundreds of hours of prompt writing that he has learned to do those things. But yeah, I think the agent analysis was cool. I think the market analysis was cool. I think what each agent could do for $20 a month, you get the premium version of the app on your phone, right? And you source data, MLS or otherwise, on the web, and you have it analyze zip code data for a new listing that you're going on an appointment for, right? Real simple stuff. That he called them what did he call them? Mic drops. He called them mic drops. Like, you're basically just looking for those few little anecdotal mic drops in an appointment to gain you more rapport with a client.
Was it nail?
No, he said throw down nails. That was part of his seller presentation. That's right. Where if they're interviewing multiple agents, you want to create enough doubt, or you want to essentially throw down some nails so the tires go flat. Like, basically that's what we call pre-framing. So if when you overcome an objection, any objection, what you want to do, and you know you're in a competitive situation, is you want to pre-frame that same issue for the competition's answer not to measure up to your own. Yeah. And that's really all he's doing.
Yep. All right, cool. So once again, Resource Live was great. That listener question there kind of came from Resource Live. So we will move on from Resource Live right now.
That's it.
All right. So have a question for you. We have a presidential election coming up. No, we're not diving into politics.
I was hoping not.
Historically, how does the real estate market react and move in the few months leading up to a presidential election?
Fairly slow.
Yeah. I think we're seeing that a little now.
I think so. I will tell you, I've had a substantial amount of agents, in spite of this NAR settlement, in spite of the presidential election, and crazy kind of economic kind of confusion, if you will. Like, is the stock market crashing? Is it not? Are rates going up? Nope, they're going down. Wait a minute. Are we in a recession? Haven't we always been? Like, all of this stuff is crazy, but agents are still getting in the business.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. I wonder, and I wish I could source this. Maybe ChatGPT can figure it out for me. At what rate are agents leaving the business is what I would like to know, especially retirement age agents. Like, I think there's still some optimism out there, Ryan, but I think the next few months are going to be pretty slow. I think we have only scratched the surface on the negativity, right? There's a lot of ads out there, and the ads are the most negative part. The debates are, I guess right now there's only one more debate set for September. That'll probably be near a peak.
Which probably fewer people are going to watch because football is going to be back on TV.
It's possible, quite possible. September 12th, maybe? Is that what I'm thinking? Anyway, I don't know. There's always like the October surprise thing, which who knows. I think it's going to be slow for the next few months, but that's okay. Rates I think will continue to trend down regardless of the outcome of the election.
Which
and
I would say, like,
that could be a good sign for next year.
Yeah, and if rates do continue to trend down and you are thinking about buying, it's probably a pretty good few months to make that decision because you're not going to be competing.
If you have less competition, if you have higher days on market, if you have sellers enticed to accept lower prices based on short-term needs, and you expect prices to rise behind lower rates, yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's get on to something else. So I know you've done this before. I remember one time specifically, but I'm trying to figure out how I want to ask this because I had to do this last week. Leveraging a bad Google review
Oh yeah.
on any business. So this
yeah.
wasn't on my real estate business. This was on business my family opened and other business partners in E-Town, RV park. Bad review, almost positive it was from a competitor. They've never stayed there. But, and I did this because I remember you doing this probably a few years ago, leveraging that to get good reviews from all the people you know and all the people that trust you and know you're building something cool, and they will show out and give you reviews. More so when you put that bad review out there, show it to them and say, hey, you all know this isn't true. Help me out here. I need some reviews. And we tripled our review account.
So you did?
Yes.
Okay, so I love that. I was going to say, like, do you want me to talk about how I did it, or are you just saying that you did it and it was successful?
Well, I did it and it was successful, but I think you should dive into how you did it.
Well, so in my opinion, okay, you know, when you have a good business, when you know you have a good business, when you know that you have a loyal following, and someone, as they often do, especially on Google because it's so easy, they don't have to prove any sort of interaction with you, which is a shame, but whatever. They don't vet their reviews, but okay, whatever. You just got to turn it into a positive. So I screenshotted the bad review, which was completely unhinged and not warranted at all. In fact, I don't even think I knew the person. I think they probably didn't really know me either, and they thought I was someone else. But anyway, I got like a 1-star review and some really nasty words that like were really out of character for what I am and what my business is. And so I just took a screenshot of it, and then I loaded up my Facebook app and I started a post, and I said essentially, hey friends, look at this review that I just got on my business page on Google. Unfortunately, Google won't take it down because they wouldn't. Even though I'm quite certain that I never did business with this person, can I ask a favor? The only way I can affect any change over this negative review and not allow it to hurt my business is to, kind of show people that this is an anomaly or this is inaccurate. So I'm going to respond, but I would love it if you could take 5 minutes. Here's the link. Click here. I would love it if you could take 5 minutes and complete a review if you've had a great experience with me. Yeah. And, then a party happened in the comments, lots of laughs and people, eye roll emojis, and people thought, that it was funny. Some of my people even like looked up this person because I guess the screen name was there. It wasn't their personal name, but it was a screen name. They looked him up on Google and then found his other reviews and started screenshotting and posting. He reviewed Taco Bell, and had issues with the quality of the food at Taco Bell. And I didn't even think to go that far, but I explained those
things. Go eat
things.
At 2 a.m., you'll love it.
I explained, especially on Bardstown Road. That's the only one I know at 2 a.m. But no, people will go to crazy lengths to defend you when they feel like you're being mistreated by someone else, especially if you're just a really good person. And I've seen a number of my colleagues do this. Actually got the idea once. I got the idea once from a guy named Kyle Whistle in San Diego, because he got like a despicable interview where he was called several names, and he invoked the same language. And I don't really remember what it was, but it was like curse words, and it was like, well, I guess if we're such a bastard, then we were blah 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 because somebody called him a greedy bastard or something, right? I guess I am going to say the word, but people want you to stand up for yourself. And honestly, I've talked about it at length on this podcast. I respond to troll comments on my social media, and I just go right back at them. And I feel like, okay, I can't substantiate it, but the ones that I get the most troll comments, I start to respond. Those are the videos that do the best. Yeah. And I think it's because people like it when you're a decent person. They like it when you defend yourself. They don't want you getting steamrolled by some troll who sits behind a keyboard somewhere and just wants to tear people down.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went from my Google review page had a handful of reviews at the time, and I got over 100 from that one post.
That's pretty incredible.
So anyway, that's the story, and I think you should do it too. Stand up for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do it now if you're listening and there's a bad review from a year ago. You could still use it.
Make sure you respond to the bad review also. There's so much context. It was, "Dear so-and-so, I don't have a record of ever doing business with you. I don't know who you are. If I've harmed you in some way and you've concealed your identity and blah, 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 I'd love to make amends. But what you're saying about us just isn't how we do things."
Yeah.
Peace. And so
You could put that, copy that message, the bad review, put it in ChatGPT, tell it how you want to respond, and then write it for you.
I honestly think, Ryan, I think I responded first before I screenshot it, because I think my response was in the screenshot. And I think that's what people do appreciate. They appreciate you caring about your business, being genuinely interested, not wanting to hurt people. But then when somebody's just a jerk anyway, you have permission to defend yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
So there you go.
All right, moving on. So I wanted to bring up, I saw Kamala Harris is announcing a few housing changes she would like to see. I don't know if you saw these.
I don't know if I did or not.
Let me see if I can pull it up here. So Harris to call for construction of 3 million new homes in speech on Friday. So
Okay,
we're recording this on a Friday, so whenever her speech is supposed to be today.
Okay.
Just says Democratic U.S. presidential candidate Kamala Harris plans to call for the construction of 3 million new housing units and outline new tax incentives for builders that construct properties for first-time home buyers. Now, we don't get into politics at all. We're not going to talk about who we like, who we don't like. But we have been saying something like this and it needs to be done. It's been needed. But now, before you respond, I want to...
She's still going to do tax credits, though.
Talk. She also wants to do $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers.
First generation home buyer, I think, is the actual distinction.
Let's see if I can find it.
You have to be the first person in your family to be purchasing a home to get it. I want to say.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
This is just off a.
So most.
This is just like a breakdown, short thread on X of the economic policy agenda. Her part, she's released.
Yeah.
And it's honestly mirroring a higher child tax credit, but we're not going to get it. We'll just talk about the housing part. So.
No, I get it. And I want to say it is, and I'm trying to look it up right now, but I want to say it's first generation homeowner.
Which I think is awesome. Now, the tax credit and 3 million new housing units that's what we need.
Yeah.
Let's get rolling with that.
Well, this ABC News article says first-time home buyers, which has typically been identified as someone who has not owned a home in 3 years. So if you owned a home and sold it more than 3 years ago, you would tend to.
You're not a first-time home buyer.
You're definitely not a first-time home buyer. But when I originally heard this, okay, hold on. See, this is my issue with the media. The headline says Harris to propose up to $25,000 in down payment support for first-time home buyers. And then when you scroll down to the article about, let's see, paragraph 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph starts, quote, the Biden-Harris administration proposed providing $25,000 in down payment assistance for 400,000 first-generation home buyers, or home buyers whose parents don't own a home, and a $10,000 tax credit for first-time buyers.
Okay.
So it's actually a $25,000 credit for first gen. It's $10,000 for first time. How that is defined, I am not entirely certain. And it goes on to say, we want to end the housing supply shortage by calling for 3 million new housing units. The problem is, okay, it we're still harming while helping. We're still harming on one side of the coin while helping on the other. Alleviating inventory will help. Inventory constraints will absolutely help curtail price increases. But then stimulating demand with tax credits and down payment assistance on the buying side will drive prices north. So what wins out? It really probably depends if the incentive per unit for unit constructed is greater than 25,000.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, if you're gonna, or let's blend that average between first gen and first time home buyers, and let's say the majority is first time home buyers. There's well more of those than first generation home buyers. Let's say the net effect is a $15,000 credit per unit sold. If there's a $15,000 incentive to buyers or to sellers or to builders or greater, then maybe it'll make some impact. Otherwise, I don't think it makes any impact.
Yeah, but at least they're trying to help. It would be helping the other side for once.
Well, it is.
Has there been a time where there's been builder tax incentives?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. You see it locally. You see it at the state level.
I really wonder how that'd be distributed. Is it to?
Well, there's no. You don't. I mean, here's what this makes me think, and this is just politics in general.
I guess
okay,
it's not distributed. It's just a tax incentive.
Maybe. I mean, it's vague, and if you look at either party,
could I build a house, live in it for 2 years,
probably
sell
not.
it, and get a tax incentive?
Probably not. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at any party platform, the percentage that gets implemented is so little, right? So what this makes me think, the thing that will happen out of all of this, if any of it happens, is the most specific part, which is the 25,000 and the 10,000. It doesn't say anything with any specificity for what they're going to do for builders to incentivize builders to build more housing.
Maybe that's coming today.
So what it makes me think, honestly, Ryan, it makes me think that we're going to stimulate demand again and never stimulate supply. And we're going to double, triple down on the issues that we've had.
Or it could just probably be like 99% of politicians where they put out this whole plan and then none of it gets done during a presidency.
That's right. Like, we're just buying votes.
Yeah.
We're just buying party platforms buy votes is what they do.
Yeah.
It's one of the many things wrong with our political system. But yeah, we're not going down any deeper down that road. I would love to see it though, and it's nice. It's nice to see a politician. You know, it's unfortunate it wasn't the real estate candidate, right? That offered to stimulate supply. I suppose his whole platform is stimulating business. I don't know. I don't think you can trust anything anymore.
Yeah. All right. One last question for you, then we're going to get into some Louisville football.
Nice.
All right. So it's been, I guess, this is day 4 of the NAR settlement changes taking place in Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
The official day for everybody having to comply is tomorrow on a Saturday, which I thought it was funny you said that at Resource Live. Like, don't know why they chose a Saturday. I guess they know agents are working Saturdays.
I guess.
So has there been any major problems your teams ran into yet in these 4 days that these changes have taken place?
We've learned a lot. We had one very adamant prospective buyer that wanted to see one of our listings. Now, this is a brokerage issue, not a team issue, which, you know, if you know, you know. But it was one of our most accomplished agents, most experienced and most accomplished agents, had a listing, received a call from a buyer, prospective buyer, that was adamant about not being represented, but wanted to see the house. And we have found ourselves in a position where we feel like showing a house to someone when we do not represent them, whether they are willing to acknowledge that you do not represent them or not, which this buyer may have been willing to do. It creates some inherent risk because, for example, if I go show you a house, Ryan, and you agree not to be represented by me, and you refuse to sign any document with me, which is what this fellow was doing, refusing to sign any document, not a non-representation agreement, not a non-exclusive representation agreement, not an exclusive representation agreement. did not want to be represented whatsoever. Had read up some news. I don't think he had read the actual settlement, but read up some news on the settlement.
I think I might know who this is.
Okay. And, refused to sign anything, but wanted to see the property and made a lot of stink, made a lot of noise about wanting to see the property. And so that makes you even more concerned. But, it's really easy to create an agency relationship accidentally in a showing. Prospective buyer asks the listing agent because they just want to learn about the house. And, the information requires the agent to share non-public information, right? That can create an implied agency arrangement. Okay. Now, if the buyer, which again has all the sympathy in the scenario now, the buyer does what they say they're going to do and their intentions are pure, then there's probably not much risk. But let's say their intentions are not pure. Let's say a buyer refuses to sign a representation agreement, but insists on seeing a house and insists they are unrepresented. The settlement does not prohibit you from showing that house to them, but you cannot even accidentally create an agency relationship. So let's say the agent goes and does everything above board, shows the house, and the buyer asks certain questions, the agent answers a certain way. Let's say they still don't encroach upon creating an agency relationship, but after the fact, the buyer claims that non-public information was shared, an agency relationship was created. Let's say they even write an offer through their attorney and submit it to the agent. And let's say they even buy and close on the house, but then allege that the dual agent, the listing agent that had no agreement because they didn't represent the person, showed them the house despite being a dual agent and having an agency relationship created, and mishandled the negotiation for the benefit of the seller. Now that buyer has lost, and now they're suing that agent, and the agent has nothing to defend themselves. And in fact, they showed a house without a representation agreement. So I think they're doomed to fail. So in this scenario, we refused. We said, you can sign a one-time agency agreement, or you can get somebody else to show you the house. And so here's what happens. Now, the catch-22 is, what if the seller says, well, you're harming me, you're my agent, you signed to represent me, and you refuse this person a showing, and they could have been the buyer of my house, and so you're fired, and I'm suing you. It's a no-win situation. So that's the current catch-22 that we're trying to work through. Yeah. So what's more likely, the risk from the buyer in this scenario or the risk from the seller that I just outlined? It's kind of crazy, to be honest. You almost can't win.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Did you follow me there? I know that was a little heavy.
No, I definitely followed you. We'll talk after this.
Yeah, but it's a little heavy. So that's kind of the thing we're working through.
Yeah, I definitely followed you there. Okay. So let's get into Louisville football. It's our last thing. Last year we did this, so we're 15 days away from the first game.
Yep. It's gonna be
last year we gave our predictions on how many wins they thought they'd have. Mm-hmm. Jeff Brom's first year, which. Before we do this, I got to say, you liked my tweet that I sent out the other day. St. Joe's picnic last Saturday. I was up there having a good time, probably a few too many beers. And
how many is a few too many?
I'm not saying that on camera.
Go ahead, sorry.
So I'm walking
my mom
by,
watches this.
And I see Jeff Brom walking by, definitely with his daughter and her friends. He's kind of got his head down, and I just yell, Jeff Brom, cards, baby. And he kind of just looks up at me and puts his head down. And
he didn't give you like a thumbs up or anything?
He just went like, no, he did put his hand up, but he kind of put his head down because he's
just trying to be a dude.
Yeah, which
he's just trying to be a dude.
He
is a dude.
And his daughter and all her friends just started laughing.
Oh, I love it.
And I said, hey, I'd do it again.
I'd do it again. I don't care. Like, he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
He's a celebrity. No, he's a good dude, man.
Last year I said 10 wins.
You said 10. So you were spot on. Did I say 9?
I don't know.
I want to say I said 1 less. We need to check the tape.
Yeah, we do.
We need to check the tape.
Honestly, I was almost wrong until we lost the last 3. But That's all right.
Yeah, I think I went 9, and I think you went 10, and so whatever.
So this year I am gonna go
I've got a number over here. You can't see it.
11 and the college football playoffs.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm going 10-win season, 10-2. So I'm still less optimistic than you.
So,
but
you're doing just regular season, though.
Yeah, I did say 10-2. So yeah, regular season, 10-2.
Yeah, I think
College
11 and
football
1
playoffs and 8 make it now. Is it still 8 for one more year?
No, it's 12.
It's 12. Okay. So I could buy that. I could buy college football playoff. I don't know that it's a prediction I would make because I just think it's a long shot no matter what.
I think we, unfortunately, this time lose at Notre Dame but beat Clemson this year.
I think we lose to Virginia, and I think we get one of those two. So I'm thinking 10-2. Yeah. I hope we get, I don't know who I'd rather beat. It's always good to beat Notre Dame, but I think
Kentucky fans are listening to this.
I think I want to beat Clemson. No, we're getting Kentucky this year.
Yeah.
We're getting Kentucky this year. They have ceded the moral high ground.
I might go to the away basketball and football games this year.
Ooh, that would be fun. Now I walked out of there after I walked out of Commonwealth Stadium, which is what it was called at the time. It's Kroger Field now. I walked out of Commonwealth Stadium after Teddy Bridgewater beat him, and we had a blast on the way to the car.
I bet.
But it's just how many times have I heard, the other way around. I mean, I had, and not all UK fans are like this, and I'm not that guy, but I mean, I had a guy like literally, like spit at us, like almost spit on my wife. Like it's lucky I didn't go to jail that night.
There's
talk about
bad apples in every
too many beers. Tailgating, too many beers, in Lexington, staying with friends, wearing Cards gear in Lexington, and a guy, probably a drunk frat boy, spat at us. Lucky he didn't hit us. Lucky he didn't hit my wife. I was much younger and much more hot-headed.
I'd say there were probably some UK fans there too, like mad at that
with
guy.
us. Well, no, I was with UK fans. Yeah. I mean, the people we were staying with in Lexington were UK fans. Yeah. So yeah, pretty unfortunate, but I'm sure that stuff happens in Louisville too. I'm not that guy.
It definitely does.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go 10-2. And I got a question for you before we go.
Okay.
Do Bryson and John Daly break 50?
Well, I've already watched it.
It's already out?
Yeah.
Oh, so I guess not.
So I won't tell you.
So I would have heard if
I'll just tell you. It was disappointing. I stopped watching after about 30 minutes because they par like 2 of the first 3 holes.
So I'm
terrible.
I've seen clips, but I thought it was the teasers. I thought it was just about to come out.
It came out yesterday.
It came out yesterday?
2 days ago.
Okay.
No, 2 days ago.
So Daly was disappointing because Bryson couldn't be disappointing, right?
I don't know.
I saw a par
the first
3.
4 or 5 holes.
I saw him miss the green on a par 3. A clip and he was upset because
Daly had great one-liners, but
he's barefoot.
There's almost too many one-liners though.
Okay,
like he almost speaks in one-liners.
I'm gonna have to. I saw him try to hit some of Bryson's clubs on the range, and it was awful,
terrible. But nobody can hit those. So
yeah. So anyway, all right. I guess that's it.
That's it, man.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
All right. Folks, again, thank you for your support. If you are a listener and you attended Resource Live, we definitely appreciate you being in attendance. We had almost 0 no-shows, which was really, really exciting. Had about 150 in attendance, and it was a great event. We certainly appreciate it. I got the opportunity to listen to a lot of you that listen to the show regularly, that came up and made comments to me yesterday. As you can probably imagine, this isn't a Joe Rogan level podcast, right? We get consistent but relatively small in terms of audience listens each week, but it's nice to know how much it does impact you. So definitely keep listening. We're going to do our best to keep bringing you great content week after week. And I guess that's all for now. We will catch you soon. You can catch me anywhere you podcast, like, share, subscribe, review. All those things are very much appreciated. Catch us on the socials at jpittsrealtor, at ryanharris.re. But for Ryan Harris, this is Jay Pitts and the Jay Pitts Show. We will see you again next week.
Peace.